Hello everybody, welcome back to an edition of the Modicon EdgeIO. I'm your host, Leandro Mada, and in this video what we're gonna see is how this Modicon EdgeIO can work with the machine offer that we have in Schneider. So let's go to the presentation. So, as you may know, we have the offer for the PLCs. Come on, computer, here, there we go. We have the offer for the machine part of the Schneider Electric of the PLCs as a logic controller and motion control. Okay. Then inside we have different offer. We can start with the Modicon M262 from the basic, and then we can go for the pack drive. Okay. So here you can see all the performance, how it grow. Okay. Starting from the Modicon M262, then we can migrate the program if we want to EcoStruxure Machine Expert and leave behind the basic to the Modicon M241, 251. And then if you want something more with the IoT's features, we can go for the Modicon M262. Okay, and you have the logic, and you have another one for motion that has the circles part. Okay, and then at the top we have the pack drive. Now, how this Modicon EdgeIO can work with this? Okay, so basically what they told me. Okay, the idea of this would be to focus more on the Modicon EdgeIO for everything related to the M262 and the part of the pack drive, because it has the circles part. It doesn't mean that you cannot use for the Modicon M261 or the M241, 251 the Modicon EdgeIO. Okay, it can. On the M221, I believe the compatibility is full for the Modicon TM3. Okay, if you want to use the Modicon EdgeIO, then it would be like a third party. Then for the M262, you will see later on next videos that we have the easy integration. Okay, otherwise you can use a third-party device, read the register as you want, and that's it. Okay, so basically if you're going to use a communication via circuits, then Modicon EdgeIO is the solution. On Ethernet IP, then it's a mix. You can use the Modicon TM3, the bus coupler, or you can use the Modicon EdgeIO. Okay, it doesn't matter, you can use one of those. But if you're using, for example, CanOpen, then the Modicon EdgeIO doesn't have CanOpen, or at least yet. So you just need to go for the bus coupler in that particular case. The same for the Ethernet IP can be applied for the Model TCP. The same, you can use both the Modicon EdgeIO or the bus coupler, TN3 bus coupler. And then if you go to the serial communication, then you can go for the Modicon TN3 bus coupler, because it has a serial connector. Now, when to use which one? Okay, I believe it can be a little bit complex, and it will depend on basically on your application. So by default, these ones can be a little more pricey compared with the TN3. Okay, but maybe not that much. That in terms of numbers. Okay, generally speaking. Then it will depend on your system. What do you have? So if you have, for example, you need more IOs, okay, then you will need to check the communication that you want to communicate to those IOs. If you're using Ethernet IP, Model TCP, or circuits, then you can probably go with this one, okay, with the EdgeIO. If you need something more special like CanOpen or Model Serial, then stick with the TN3 bus coupler. On the CanOpen side, the M261 doesn't have CanOpen, okay, so you need to go for Model TCP or Model Serial in that particular case. In terms of safety, okay, the TM3 offer has some safety modules, okay, with their own logic already there. Doesn't interact with the software, so it's just the hardware configuration it has, and that's it. That is the safety level that you have, but it can be used on the local rack and on the distributed IO that we have, the remote IO. Then for the Modicon EdgeIO, so basically if you're using circuits 3 for the NIM or NIM, then you should be able to have the safety modules. Now, if we talk about the special functions on the TM3, we have some special cards like the high-speed counter cards if you want to, and also to control the test ECU for motor starters. They're quite handy. So if you In terms of special models, we have those on the TM3 offer. On the Modicon EdgeIO, we have plenty. Okay, so if you want to add, for example, to the solution the M221 different features in terms of PWM, PTOs, you can do that. Okay, as a special card for the Modicon EdgeIO, we have something new, which is the IO link. So we're gonna have one of these particular models. We just found it. One of these particular models that will be for the EdgeIO, for the IO link, which is fine. We can also have a Modbus serial communication card and another one for can open. Okay, so those are the things that we have as a special requirement in case you need it, and they are not directly related to the PLC itself, features that can be embedded. Okay, so for example, M241 has a possibility to use high-speed counters or PTO, so we can be independent on that, and we can go focus on the distributed IO in case we need it. Okay, different features. The traditional TM3 comes with Spring terminal, Secure terminal, and HE10 connector. Here we can have the spring and we have the screw, and we also have the possibility to have some kind of cover in case we need it. Okay, it's not mandatory. So it's similar to the offer on the TM5 in terms of how it looks like. Okay, there, in case you are familiar with that. And then the performance, we know that in case you don't know, the TM3 can have like 7 modules on the PLC, and then you can add another 7 more with a transmitter and receiver, and then that will depend on the PLC selected. For the M241, 251, and 262, that's it. But for the M221, there are some specialties that doesn't match the 14, okay, or the 7 on the same. So that's in terms of that. The same can be applied for the TM3 bus coupler. You can have 7 on the main, and then you can extend 7 more. But for the Modicon EdgeIO, then it's quite different. It's divided like a whole island and in different clusters. Okay, and you can have, if I run after 32 slides, these are the slides. Okay, after 32 slides per cluster. Okay, in total you can have up to 250 slices. Okay, so there are a lot of things. So basically, the order to which one to select will be in terms of price. Okay, would be which is the communication you want for this distributed IO, and in case you have any specific features that you want to add to your application. So how this looks like in our overall solution. Okay, you probably know that, or probably hear about the EcoStruxure, that we divide everything in 3 layers. Okay, so we have the connected product, edge control, and the apps and internet service. So if we pay more attention and go deeper in this EcoStruxure solution for the machine offer, we can see that in the top we have the EcoStruxure Machine Expert, and along with Aviva, that has the Aviva System Platform, Aviva Edge, and Plan SCADA, the former Cytec SCADA, right in the top. Then in the middle, on the edge control, we have all the controllers that I mentioned before, starting from the M251, M241, M262, logic, and emotion. And then at the end, we have Patrick. And the software to program this is the Machine Expert. Now, if we're using the Modicon EdgeIO, this one over here, you can see how we can connect to them. So basically, the connected product, there was where this Modicon EdgeIO is located. Okay, we have the Ethernet multi-TCP connection, and then as this one has dual port, we can use like an extension like a daisy change to connect to other devices. In this case, it's an Altibar 320. If you use, for example, the M241, you can use it again to connect to this one, and then use the other port to connect to other devices, in this particular case in a Tessis island. Now, if you use, for example, the M262, now it's a little bit different because it has the possibility to have as a ring, so you can put this device, you can connect the Tessis island or other device and have a Altibar process, Altibar machine. In this case, it's an ATB 320. And if you're doing probably on this, if you have want to daisy change that, then you will need to add the special card on this one, because the ATB 320 has only one port. It has one port. No, it came from model serial. You need to add the communication card. Okay, the ATV340 is different. They can have Ethernet or not already embedded. Okay, and then if we go to the M262 with motion, okay, now the thing is more different now because we have the possibility to use circles over there. Okay, we can use circles, or we can use the standard model TCP or Ethernet to communicate to the Modicon Edge I. Now, similar to the logic of the motion of the M262, we have the pack drive, okay, where we can use in both of them the safety logic controller, SLC, along with circuits communication to control all the network. So this is like an add-on. Instead of using, for example, in this case, the TN5, okay, we can use the Modicon EdgeIO. Okay, so this is the overall of the benefits of the Modicon EdgeIO on the EcoStruxure machine offer. I know there is a lot. When to use the TM3 or when to use the Modicon EdgeIO. Again, basically, it will depend on your application that you have, the money that you're probably trying to invest, okay, because this may be a little bit more pricey, but in terms of performance compared with the TM3, we have more flexibility over here. We have the possibility to use hot standby, hop swap to the model, similar to the TM5. So we need to analyze in which situation we are specifically. Okay, so this is the overview introduction of the Modicon EdgeIO, how can interact with the EcoStruxure machine offer that we have engineered lately. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you in the next one.